Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Meuthia Khansa and I'm from 5PD class. And today in research methodology, I would like to tell you about interpretation data. And first, what is interpretation data? So data interpretation is the process of reviewing data through some predefined process which will help assign some meaning to the data and arrive at a relevant conclusion. It involves taking the result of data analysis, making inferences on the relations studied, and using them to conclude. And in data interpretation, there are some methods, and the methods are how analyze help people make sense of numerical data that has been collected, analyzed, and presented. And then data, when collected in raw form, may be difficult for the layman to understand, which is why analysts need to break down the information gathered so that others can make sense of it. And for example, when founders are pitching to potential investors, they must interpret data, for example, market size, growth rate, and the others, for better understanding. And the methods, they have two main methods that are first, qualitative data interpretation methods, and the second is quantitative data interpretation methods. In qualitative data, it is used to analyze qualitative data, which is also known as categorical data. And then this method uses text rather than numbers or patterns to describe data. But for quantitative data, it is also known as numerical data, and this data type contains numbers and is therefore analyzed with the use of numbers and not text. And this is the description of qualitative data interpretation methods. Qualitative data is usually gathered using a wide variety of person-to-person techniques, which may be difficult to analyze compared to the quantitative research method. Unlike the quantitative data, which can be analyzed directly after it has been collected and sorted, for qualitative data, it needs to first be coded into numbers before it can be analyzed. And in qualitative data, they have two main types. First is nominal data, and the second is ordinal data. And these two data types both interpreted using the same method. But for ordinal data, interpretation is quite easier than nominal data. And in most cases, ordinal data is usually labeled with numbers during the process of data collection, and coding may not be required. And this is different from nominal data that still needs to be coded or for proper interpretation. And this is quantitative data interpretation methods. In quantitative data, they have two main types too. First is discrete and the second is continuous data. For continuous data, is further divided into interval data and ratio data, with all the data types being numeric. For the process of analyzing quantitative data, it involves statistical modeling techniques such as standard deviation, mean, and median. And then for some of the statistical methods used in analyzing quantitative data are highlighted below. First is mean. The mean is a numerical average for a set of data and is calculated by dividing the sum of the values by the number of values in a dataset. And it is used to get an estimate of a large population from the dataset obtained from a sample of the population. The second is standard deviation. In standard deviation used to measure how well the response aligns with or deviates from the mean. It describes the degree of consistency within the responses, and then it's together with mean. It provides insight into data sets. And the last is frequency distribution. In this technique, it is used to assess the demography or of the respondents or the number of times a particular response appears in research. And then it is extremely keen on determining the degree of intersection between data points. And then some other interpretation processes of quantitative data include regression analysis, cohort analysis, predictive and prescriptive analysis. And this is the advantages of interpretation data. First is it helps to make informed decisions and not just true guessing or prediction. Second is it is cost efficient. And the last is the insight obtained can be used to set and identify trends in data. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.